Just come in for a top land at Arbroath, and as usual, even though it's fairly overcast, low tide, quite a lot of heat. As soon as you're flying behind this fence line, so you're soaring along but behind the ridge, along the fence line, you feel a lot of heat off that path. And as you'd expect with low tide, all the heat off the rocks, lots of lift, lots of sink. So everybody that sort of says coastal flying easy, safe and all the rest of it, they really make the big mistake. Sites like this have had more collapses and punchy thermic air at the coast than flying in mountain sites any day of the week. You've really got to know what you're doing with sites like these. Sometimes, yes, they can be very smooth, but the margins are very minor if it changes at all, or if the conditions are going to be like that. So, didn't take the phone out to film while I was in the air, waited until I'm in this top landed position. I've kept the wing above me even though I've gone hands free to get the phone out and set it up. And as usual, it's all about the harness control. So, to launch off, just add in a tiny bit of fourth force thrust, hop up onto the fence post, having checked the airspace, checked there's nobody top landing, there's no hang gliders, nobody overshooting. You also want to go forward, you want to check for the path. We choose to do this, members of the public do not choose to be inconvenienced by us. And that's at any site, anywhere in the world. So you've got to sort of always consider everybody else. So you walk forward, check the airspace, then tiptoe back, so the current air speed of the glider is wind speed minus ground speed. Then just ease forward and hop up onto the fence when the moment feels right. So just waiting, if it's not quite right, backtrack again. The wing is above and noticeably in front of me. The C risers are slightly forward of vertical. This is a 4-riser glider, the D risers are almost vertical. So the wing's sitting nicely in the airflow. Just wait until it's the right mount, tiptoe up, touching, launching. Straight away, mixture of lift and sink, lots of punch, flying it with a harness. Check the airspace, good look round. Cut back over the ridge line, over the fence, setting up for the turn, and bringing around on the harness, coming back. So, never have any problems, even when you get collapses anywhere, it's easy to fly, but you've got to fly using the harness. Okay, check the turn, looking along, looking behind, checking for anybody else on ridges, checking for anybody that's higher and has been thermal flying, check the turn again, setting up for the turn, reverse the lead, warping the wing, ease off, warping her back in, and going behind the ridge line, holding her in a vectored side slip. So I've got about 6 inches of left brake on there while leaning right, to side slip all the way along here. So I'm leaning right, leaning right, leaning right, leaning right, just continuing along in that vectored side slip. Then getting the undercarriage ready in a second, and undercarriage is down and ready, waiting, 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 and touchdown. And there's the gap in front of me, ready to take off for the next one. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack because there's a sharp transition here. I've got backtrack until I feel clean air at the ground, then using the harness, dropping the wing, settle it, and then the phone goes back in the pocket, switching off, and fly again. So just tiny touch of brake, mainly the harness, mainly the harness, mainly the harness, and settle, and then that's ready. Okay, so I've got reasonable airflow here, further back would be even better. Take off either over the fence or through the gap, having checked for members of the public, so you're always looking out, you're always checking for other aircraft, including overhead, and anybody overshooting if it was a mountain site. So, pack up the phone.